Thank you, everyone. We're back on the subject with Michael Villardo. We're really excited to be able to have here today a really special guest in front of the program, Tristan Jass. Tristan is an unbelievable basketball player, influencer, entrepreneur, and Midwesterner. So we're really excited to dive into all these commonalities, and we are not going to be able to leave any stone unturned on this conversation because we have someone who has done such an incredible job as a Gen Z influencer to be able to build his career up, and I can't wait to learn from you today. Thank you so much for joining us, Tristan.
Dude, that was a hell of an intro. Thank you for having me.
Well, you're a big deal, and one thing I always love to start with is you're from Kenosha, Wisconsin.
I am from Kenosha, yes sir.
Not many people in the media tech space are from Wisconsin. How did this come about? How did you get involved in social media?
Man, I think, this kind of came about 2017, 2016. Like Vine was out. I was trying to make some Vines. I'm like, how can we go viral, man? How can we go viral? Started posting like Instagram videos, a lot of basketball, content. Actually had a video go viral in high school. Crossed over my teacher. I was playing him one-on-one. That video helped kind of blow things up a little bit.
How big did it get?
That was massive. That was my junior year of high school, so like 2017.
And what was the name of your high school? Shout out this high school.
Yeah, shout out to Tremper High School.
Tremper High School, you heard it here.
Tremper High School, Kenosha, Wisconsin. I went there from 10th grade till I graduated.
So why did you transfer? Where were you ninth grade?
So I was at St. Joe's,
Okay.
ninth grade. It was a Catholic school.
So let's talk about that. And, what we love at On the Subject is everyone's had a high school experience. Whether you went 4 years, dropped out, transferred, everyone who's listened, they've engaged in high school in some capacity, whether they like it, they hate it. And so I'm so fascinated with your story because you've been able to paint your own path. You haven't listened to any rule book. You have gone off the beaten path and have had immense success as a young 20-year-old. How old are you today?
I'm 24.
24, young 20-year-old, and that success level, you're in the top 1% of worldwide earners because you've put in such great work. But talk about your high school experience. You transferred from a Catholic school to a public school. What went behind that? Was that your parents' decision? Was it your decision? Was it because of sports? Was it because of academics? Why did you want to do that?
Yeah, so I went to a public school 6th and 7th grade. That summer, going into my 8th grade year, my parents decided to put me in St. Joe's Catholic Academy, where actually one of my best friends, Ronnie, was going at the time. So that kind of, gave me some confidence to go over there. But I'm also like, I know nobody at this school, so it was kind of weird. So I went to St. Joe's, this Catholic school, from 8th and 9th grade. But transitioning over from that school to a public school was definitely was different because at St. Joe's, we get a laptop. Public school, we didn't get a laptop or nothing. So
Did the laptop and the tech you got exposed to at this private school get you more interested in social media, or were you at this point still really focused on being able to go as far as possible at basketball? Like, what was your dream when 14-year-old Tristan?
yeah,
What was that? What was that guy's dream?
man, I was a reckless little kid, man, growing up. I don't even know what I wanted to do during that time. I was just living life, just going crazy, getting into trouble, I feel like. But, probably about freshman year, sophomore year is when I really started to take basketball seriously. And I'm like, my parents can't afford to put me in college, so I'm going to have to go out here and try to earn a college scholarship. So that's kind of what I did.
Well, so what do you think about that? I think that's a hot topic in education, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially as someone who evaluated at such a young age and an incredible maturity on your part. College is so expensive now. Some colleges cost $100,000 a year total cost. So you're talking about $400,000. You saddled with debt. You have to earn your way out of that hole. How did you evaluate that? So you said, hey, I need to get a scholarship to even consider going to college. What was the culture like in your hometown? Did a lot of people go to college? Was that the normal plan? Like, what would the average person at your public high school do after graduating?
After graduating high school?
Yes.
Yeah, I think, most people go with that typical route of going to college. Whether it's you're going to UW Milwaukee or you're moving to a different state or going to a different school. But my route was just a little bit different.
And let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So you have this viral moment your junior year of high school,
Yeah.
and you went from how many followers to how many followers over the next couple months?
So, just for reference, before that video, I probably had like a decent little bit of a following already.
How come?
Just because I had a couple basketball videos,
Nice.
like, oh, this kid's the next white chocolate. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the hell is this white boy going crazy on the basketball court? So I had a couple videos from these basketball camps that I had went to that were doing decent numbers. Nothing crazy, but helped me build a little bit of a following. But like you said, that video happened. That went, ESPN Top 10, Sports Center, World Star, like all the huge media outlets overnight posted this video. So it happened on a Friday, and like over the weekend it just kind of went crazy. And then I come back to school on that next Monday, everyone's seen it. It was like everywhere. But that helped me, bring a lot of eyes to my page who didn't know who I was. And, imagine someone that has not seen my page. They see me cross my teacher, they go to my page, and then they check out all these videos of me hooping, and they're like, oh, who is this kid? So that really helped. And shout out to my teacher, Mr. Gallo, because that dude, he told me, he said, man, if this video, because he knew how bad I wanted a college scholarship for basketball. And he told me, he's like, man, I don't really care about this video being everywhere. He's like, as long as this helps you get noticed to get a college scholarship, that's all that I care about. And I'm like, damn, that's real.
Think about this, especially for a lot of our listeners and people engaged with the pod. Most people say, a teacher developing someone's skill set in the classroom, changing their lives. Yeah. We have a case where a teacher getting crossed over on video is changing someone's life. How cool is that? Like, that's a very rare moment. So after that, when you came back to school, did your approach to academics change? Did you realize that social media was more likely to be your path to your next steps in your life? Or where was the influx or the inflection point, in the way that you approached your life?
Like in terms of
school, getting good grades, basketball, getting as far as you could in your basketball career, or social media being the thing you wanted to take the most seriously?
Yeah, I mean, I felt I was just going with the flow at that time, like, hooping, working out all the time, trying to stay in shape, be the best basketball player that I could be. I was just trying to get better and better and better. On top of that, like, the social media stuff, I was like, what can I do to, all these millions of people just saw this video and they're coming to my page. How can I make them stay on my page and hit the follow button and want to watch more and more? So then we moved into doing like trick shots and stuff and the crazy layups, and those videos were going crazy as well.
Well, they're unbelievable. I mean, if anyone here has not checked out Tristan's page, by the way, Instagram, YouTube, all across social, the most incredible shots you've ever seen in your life. They are absolutely amazing. And he actually was just in the most recent All-Star game. How many All-Star games have you been in now?
So this was my first celebrity game that I played in at All-Star.
Yeah.
But it was my 5th All-Star weekend.
Unbelievable. And you played amazing. We had some really good viral moments there. You led the game in assists, correct?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. See, shout out. You're great at passing the ball.
Yeah,
I love it.
Hey, we pass the ball a lot, man. We like to, share it a little bit.
I love it. Yeah, no. And so when we talk about the way that you were trying to get better as a basketball player, you ended up committing to an NAIA school?
Yeah.
What was the school's name?
Ottawa University.
How long before you were set to go to Ottawa did you say, hey, I am not ready to go to college. I want to reevaluate my life as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so this is probably like one of the craziest things that has ever happened in my life. Like it was very hard for me because, my parents just get divorced in high school. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. It's part of the story, man.
Yeah.
Like, it helped form who I am today. So, parents get divorced. I'm still trying to earn this college scholarship. My grandparents are taking me all over to basketball tournaments all summer, trying to play in front of college coaches to earn this scholarship. I end up getting my first 2 Division I offers. So I had Elkhorn State, which is actually a HBCU.
Awesome.
That was my first Division I offer. The second one was Southern Utah.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to a bunch of like other schools, and I'm getting ready to perform. I'm in the best shape of my life. July is a big month in AAU basketball because that's when all the Division I coaches can come out, like, legally. Like, there's rules and stuff, so they could come out and watch you play. And I'm just getting so ready to, show off my skills. And we're playing against some of the top teams in the country, up against guys who have, 40 Division I offers. And I'm getting ready to come in and I want to take their spot. I want to take those offers.
Yes.
For the college coaches that don't know about me. So right before July hits, I get, like, really sick. I go to the doctor, and he's like, all right, well, we're going to, test you for a couple different things. And I had mono.
Oh, my goodness. And
the kissing disease.
No joke, and this isn't about me. This is about you. My junior summer, huge for baseball as well. I had mono as well.
No way.
Yeah, wow. This is a crazy synergy in the worst way here. But
who would have thought?
And you're absolutely right, because in your mind, it flashes. You're like, and this is something I talk about so much with education, too. Education, your 14, 15-year-old performance affects what college you go to, which I think is really scary. Your freshman year performance educationally can affect what school you go to. And, like, isn't that wild to say? The same thing with sports. Your summer, your junior year, summer, sophomore year, these are huge summers for recruiting. If you have an illness or injury, you might not get that offer you wanted to dream of. So you're sick. You're having to play anyways, probably, or trying to grind a way through, or...
So I actually didn't play.
Oh, so you took the summer. You couldn't play.
I wanted to play.
Because
your
spleen is at risk.
Imagine, I'm in the best shape of my life. Doctor's like, well, dude, I just felt your spleen.
Yeah, your spleen can explode and get lacerated. Yeah, it's really dangerous.
He's like, dude, if you take one blow to your spleen, it's going to explode inside you. And that's not going to be good.
No.
And, we're going up against dudes who are 6'10", 6'8", 235, just massive people.
That pain in the post is not happening.
Take a knee right here, going up for a layup, it's over with. So that was wild. So I'm still getting to...
You'll keep going. You're killing it.
I just kind of had to tell the story a little bit. So I get cleared like the last weekend in July. So I sit out the whole July. I'm out of shape. I lost a bunch of weight. I'm looking horrible, man. I'm just not feeling how I felt, going into July. So I go to this last tournament. I played a couple games, played really shitty, just not up to what I know I could do.
You were rusty. You had some time off.
And I was out for the whole month, and, mono just killed me.
It's the worst.
Yeah, so I had this school that was watching me play. I had, like, one good game the whole weekend. And it was this school that was watching me, and they were Ottawa University, an NAIA D1 in Surprise, Arizona.
Oh, it's beautiful down there.
Yeah, it was. I actually went down there, did a visit, over that last summer of my senior year. I committed there. I signed the dotted line. I'm like, all right, we're going to go here. We're going to be the starting point guard, right away. We're going to...
That's huge.
We're going to, we're going to come down here and we're going to do some work. But that summer is when we started the YouTube channel. So
you were just mainly Instagram prior to...
Yeah, it was all Instagram.
What made you want to do YouTube?
I didn't even want to do it at first. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to be a YouTuber. Like, I don't want to have to do that or whatever. So one of my best friends, Trent Taft, a good buddy of mine, young Trent, he's like, you got to start a YouTube channel. That's where the money's at, man. Like, you're an entrepreneur, you like making money and running businesses. Start a YouTube channel. You can, make some money. So we started it up. Like, I really didn't want to do it, but I did.
But you're glad you did now.
I'm so happy I did. I'm so glad that I did, because it was just life-changing. And that was the reason, because money started coming in, not a lot. I made the first couple months that I started, I made $0. First 3 months.
But you had a vision.
Had the vision.
That's why you were willing to take the risk. So you decide to not go to college because of your vision and your confidence in yourself. Do you think school has helped you as an entrepreneur? Like, what do you wish school could have done more for you for entrepreneurship? Because it seems like you were able to learn a lot outside of school. Was it watching videos, mentors? Like, how did you learn about this stuff?
Man, I actually started buying and selling limited edition sneakers in middle school.
So this is young.
So we were young, and I started learning I could buy a pair of Jordans for $150 and sell them for $350. Well, if I get 5 pairs and I sell them all, I'm gonna make some decent money. So how could I was trying to do that every weekend. Like every Saturday morning, I'm up I had like 5 computers set up on Foot Locker, Foot Action, you name it, all these different websites to try to, click and add to cart before they sold out. And I was like going to sneaker conventions. My pops is like, dude, you just made more money than I made in a weekend buying and selling shoes. I'm like in middle
So
school.
you're a young entrepreneur from the start.
Yeah, dude, I fell in love with just seeing the profit and learning how money works. And
So where do you think high school may have let you down or not engaged you? What didn't resonate with you with your high school experience?
you know what, man? It was just hard for me to learn. I feel like in a classroom sometimes. I don't know. It was just.
Do you think that the classroom model potentially is outdated, where you have one teacher, lecturing 30 to 40 students and you don't get a chance to really have personalized experiences?
Yeah, it just wasn't. I couldn't stay focused. I probably had a little bit of ADHD. Like I get easily distracted by shit. I'll start drawing and doodling or whatever. But yeah, I think the public school, you're in a classroom of 30, 40 kids, and it's like I don't even know what's going on.
It's hard. It's proven statistically the most impactful piece of an educational journey is one-on-one time with a great instructor. Same as with athletic journey, one-on-one time with a great coach.
Yeah.
But how can you have one-on-one time when you have a class of 30, 40 people? How can you get one-on-one time with a coach if your parents can't afford a personal trainer or can't afford personal time with a coach? It's very difficult, and so that's why we talk about so much, helping students no matter what zip code you're born into, because your zip code dictates, how wealthy you are typically. What, depending on zip code, you have different wealth status, and then also your parents. You're in a human lottery. How much money do your parents have? Are they able to get you a tutor for school or get you a coach for basketball? And so you were able to do so much on your own. It sounds like you've done a great job uplifting your family, and they're super supportive of you. Mm-hmm. Were they supportive of you when you said, hey, college isn't for me. Yeah. I don't need to do this anymore?
Yeah, so we'll rewind a little bit. So we kind of left off where I committed to this NAIA school. It was kind of like, okay, can get my education paid for. My grandparents had set aside a little bit of money for me for my college fund. Like we're gonna get the education paid for, and I'm gonna go down there and hoop. So that senior year after I graduate, that summer when I started the YouTube channel, I actually go down to the school to work out with the team. I stayed at the coach's house.
Oh, you were close.
Yeah, dude, it was everything was cool, but something in me was just like, I don't know if I'm feeling this. Like it was a weird feel. I never had that feeling before. I'm like, I'm not feeling it. I know that I could do something with, I'm probably making like $1,000, $2,000 a month on YouTube. And I'm like, well, I just started. Like, what if I keep going? Like, where can we get this to? And I had this feeling. So fast forward, it's 2 days before I'm supposed to hop on the flight and go to college.
Wow.
And I'm telling my parents, I'm like, I don't really know if I'm feeling this anymore. Like, I think I want to just stay in Kenosha. And, I'm living with my mom in, a pretty shitty apartment building. I'm sleeping on the couch. My room is literally like the dining room where the kitchen table is supposed to be. I got my computer in there that I just was editing on. So I'm like, I'm gonna take a year and I'm gonna, try to do this and try to build this YouTube thing and the social media stuff. And my parents, my grandparents at first thought I was out of my damn mind. They were like, you're turning down a free education to do videos on the internet? Are you crazy? And I'm like, I just have this feeling, like.
How did you get through that? Where do you have you must have great confidence.
So it was crazy. I called the coach, head coach and assistant coach, and I was so scared.
Oh yeah, you're a young kid. This is your heart's beating before you're like, oh, I got to do it. Yeah.
I already signed the dotted line. I already signed the contract to say that I'm going there. And I'm calling these coaches on a 3-way call 2 days before I'm supposed to hop on the flight and go down for school. And there's a video of me actually. I got this video somewhere, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going. I told them on the phone, and I felt bad. I'm a big person on loyalty. I signed I'm supposed to be going. They think I'm going, and I tell them 2 days before that I'm not going. And I'll never forget that phone call. I was so scared. I had my mom sitting next to me. I'm like freaking out, it was crazy. So I decided not to go to college. Called him up, told him I wasn't coming. And I tell everyone this, it was the hardest decision I had to make in my life, but it was the best decision I could have ever made in my life.
Yeah, and I think that's a big piece of one, your incredible success, your maturity, your confidence, but just overall, two, the educational landscape is uh, we've been programmed to think that there's a linear path to life. You go first grade, second grade, third grade. You're based on what age you are, who you're hanging out with, and what level you're at. When in the adult world, that's not the case. You could be 20 steps ahead if you're really crush it, or 20 steps behind if you make some bad decisions.
Yep.
And you need to be responsible for your decisions. And education is such a powerful tool. And I'm a firm believer that some of the best colleges in the world are worth millions of dollars because how important and the signal they provide in the business world, in the training to be able to get you great opportunities. But college as a requisite to success is not the case. College is not for everyone, and it's about getting the most fulfilling life possible with your skill set.
Mm-hmm.
And what you were able to do, you were able to propel yourself and become an incredible entrepreneur without college, despite college, because you had a skill set that was so rare and you're getting compensated for it. How did you get better at editing, making content? Like, where did you learn those skills?
Yeah, just over time, I've been making instrumental beats on my computer since second grade. I can remember being in the computer lab, like messing
Wow.
around on GarageBand. Like I always knew the Apple, iMovie. Now I use Final Cut.
So you still do some edits now
Yeah.
yourself?
Oh yeah.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
so you have such creative control and a creative mindset,
Yeah.
but that was years of repetition. So would you
Yeah.
say, do you think that's the key to getting good at any skill, just doing it day in, day out for years? Like, how would you recommend someone, how can there be another Tristan Jazz in 10 years? What would you tell that person?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, the key to success and just whatever you want to do in life, whether you want to, be a basketball player, you want to be an influencer, you want to own a business, you want to be a doctor, a teacher, whatever you want to do, I think every human has an opportunity to be great and do something amazing. You just got to figure out like what that is. And once you figure out what you love to do and you're passionate about, you just got to dive into it. And you got to, like I was like, before all this stuff got to where I was doing it every day, all day. And, we were passionate. We had fun about it. We had fun with it. It was very fun. I love what I do. And I think if you can consistently put in work towards something, whether it's, hey, I'm gonna take an hour a day, or I'm gonna take 30 minutes a day, I'm gonna whatever it is. I want to get bigger or something. I'm gonna do 100 push-ups a day or whatever it is. That work consistently every day is gonna add up, and that's kind of how I feel like I did it when I was trying to get this college scholarship. Like I just knew if I was putting in work when other people weren't, I'm gonna eventually pass them. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, it totally. I even heard a really fun anecdote. We're huge on Kobe here at Subject, LA Legend. He talks about how he had, when he was growing up in Europe because his dad was playing pro basketball, he had a summer where he didn't score a single point. Mm-hmm. But he knew if he put in the work, he wouldn't be better than those kids next year. But within 10, 15 years, if he put in the work every day. But not a lot of people have long-term vision. Everyone wants quick dopamine hits.
Yeah,
they
want it now.
Yeah, they want the instant success. Like, how have you been able to have a long-term vision, especially as someone so young? It's so impressive. I think with, as we all age, you get a little bit more of a long-term vision and be able to understand time. How do we help high school kids have more of a long-term vision?
Man, that's a great question. For me, it was like I had a lot of great mentors, older people who are, very successful at what they do. I'm a big person on just soaking up all the knowledge from, if it's someone older than you that's successful and have built up a business or whatever they've done, like ask them questions, listen to what they're doing with their money. Like that's kind of how I did. I had a lot of great mentors that have helped me, for the long term. Right? Like if I'm making some money now, well, hey, let's dump some over here in the real estate, and then we're gonna put some over in here, and we're gonna start building all these other things for long term, because we don't know how long this social media stuff is gonna last. But for a high school student for long term, man,
It's tough. I mean, and that's why we're so passionate about what we do here because we're really trying to figure out how can we further engage high school students.
yeah,
You know, you're a YouTuber, social media entrepreneur. You clearly believe video is a way to connect with people. Why do you think video
100%.
connects with young people better than reading or textbooks?
I just, it's right there, right in front of you. It's a one-on-one thing. You could sit down and you can. That's why I really like Subject, because you're sitting down one-on-one and you got someone talking. That's probably a way that I would learn rather than being in I would learn that better than being in a classroom with 40 kids and paper planes are flying around, and you know what I'm saying?
Completely agree.
So,
I think the big thing that we always stress is, Netflix is 26 years old now.
mhm,
These kids are 14. They've grown up with Netflix, Instagram, YouTube. Now they have TikTok. They demand a different way to learn, and we want to really
yeah,
help them fall in love with learning. And so when they have some of these technology providers that it's all text heavy and forcing you to be able to click through really non-aesthetically pleasing product design,
mhm,
then you go to a Tristan Jass Instagram or YouTube video and you have these incredible visuals and trick shots and all this fun engagement and
mhm,
you got colors and you're excited and the dopamine rush. How am I going to go from engaging with social media to something that's very antiquated? And school has really struggled to change over the last 150 years. And, our goal is to help educate better by making sure you feel a part of the journey. And, I
mhm,
love that your thought where you talked about, you were making instrumentals from a young age, you were editing videos
yeah.
in your mom's apartment. Now that you have all the resources at your fingertips, what do you think was different about the 14-year-old Tristan versus all your peers? Why is this
Um,
Kenosha native sitting in LA doing all these incredible, entrepreneurial ventures? Like, what was the
yeah.
biggest differentiator in your personality?
Man, just lots. I feel like lots of work, man. So many hours of work, and just working when other people are doubting you. Like that just pushed me even more. Like I wanted to prove everybody wrong. Um,
You sacrificed a lot of things.
yeah,
So what
man.
did you talk about sacrifice? Because I think that's something really important with
It
young
is. It
people.
is.
Everyone wants to go to, that gathering on the weekend
Yep.
or, be able to fit in with their peers. There's a lot of social peer pressure as
Yeah.
a high school student. How do you help communicate that, hey, sacrifice in high school so you can have a better adult life? Like,
Yeah.
what's that like?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I've been to my high school
Yeah.
parties, and I've definitely had went to a lot of gatherings and stuff. But I kind of got to a point where I'm like, well, imagine if you sacrificed, a couple hours of sleep, and you got up before all these other people. You're up putting in work. Like by you sacrificing sleep, you're gonna get ahead of these people. Like I feel like when I was so locked in, bro. It was crazy. I was 5 a.m. I'm at the gym at my
Wow.
at my high school, right? So getting shots up, working out. I'd go home, shower, get back to school at 7:15 for class at 7:30. Go all day at school. Have practice from like 3:30 to 5:30 right after school, and then after that practice, I would go to the gym again.
Wow.
So like three a day. And I was doing that like a lot. And I just knew like if I sacrificed going out to on the weekends and I'm sacrificing, I'm losing a little bit of sleep, other people are sleeping in, but I'm putting in work. All those sacrifices will add up and you're going to start to see like okay, he's whatever it is or whoever it is, you start to kind of I'm not trying to be mean, but like surpass these
No,
other
you're not paying
people.
me. It's compounded interest. You're
Yeah.
paying, rent is due every day. And
Yeah.
when you do something to the best of your ability every day, you can really make it special. And I also love what you said about loving what you do. I don't think enough
Yeah.
people talk about that, where if you love what you do, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, it doesn't feel like work. And if you hate what you do, 20 hours a week feels like a lot of work.
Yeah.
You're such a great inspiration to so many people, and
Appreciate that.
we love what we've been able to do, with you around the table. Focus on visuals, video, and making things really impressive for the student to fall in love with learning it. So I have two questions before we're able to wrap up, and like so, I just always love being able to make some fun energy happen at the end. So one, this is a social topic from today. You know, NIL is legal now. You could go back and play with your skill set. Why don't we get you in a Badger uniform? Why are we not getting you in the Big Ten and getting your social media followers up? What's the reason there?
Great question. I feel like for me to even want to consider doing that, here's the thing. I'm not trying to be like cocky or anything. That's not who I am. But like, I do bring a lot of value to a table.
1,000,000%.
I bring a lot of eyes. I just, the way that my business is ran right now, we're doing really well right now. There would have to be some sort of, big NIL deal or some sort of
like a collective.
For me to go to college and go back to school to, do the schoolwork on top of that.
That is a lot of work. It is.
So it's like I'm already running this business. It's been great. I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed. I'm very thankful for everything. But, I get that question asked a lot. If the price is right, I'll do it.
You heard it here. Hey, we're waiting for a Big Ten offer. Get Tristan back on the court. Well, I just think about the Cavanagh twins who did an incredible job building up their following, and the one is going back to college next year because of the love of the game, but how it does bring a lot of great visibility to the brand, and totally understand you're crushing it as a businessman, and so impressed by everyone on your team. So professional, really running a great ship. Just think it would be unbelievable to be cheering you on.
I know.
Seeing you in the lights would be a lot of fun.
Imagine. It's tough, dude. I'm 5'9". I'll still get out.
Look at you in the All-Star game. You were amazing.
Yeah, it was cool.
Would you say that was pretty high level talent?
What's his face on the other team from the Dallas? That dude was massive.
And you played well. You were putting up shots.
Yeah, I was getting a couple buckets, but the Division I level compared to that, it's a whole different.
No, it's Division I's tough. I just
whole different level.
It would be cool, and maybe this is 2 or 3 years from now. Even if you just went for a semester and played one
suited
season,
up,
and I would love to see you in a college uniform. I think you would do amazing.
It's not a bad idea. Like, we could go and get a bunch of NIL deals and bring some value, sell some seats, bring some viewership to a school or something. Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. I would if
I'm rooting for it. I think it'd be great to see you at the highest amateur level, and I think you would bring a lot of value to a school. And you see what Deion Sanders and what they did at Colorado Buffalo have done for education. How important sports can be to uplifting education. I think they saw an increase in applications by over 50%, and minority applications skyrocketed, I believe more than double potentially. Like, that's a special, powerful lever that sports can help influence education and really be able to increase the visibility to a program. I think you do a great job. And so the one thing I do want to leave you with is, you've had such a great long-term vision. You're an entrepreneur.
Yes, sir.
You crossed over your teacher. Your teacher helped you such a great way there. If you could do one thing to make your high school better, what would it be? How would you make the high school better if you had a magic wand and say, this would have helped me learn better and made me a better student and entrepreneur today?
Well, I would have used subject. That's what I would have done. But no, I honestly, I think, like, going back to what we were talking about, it was so hard for me to focus. Like, I was very easily distracted, man. Very, very easily distracted in those big classrooms. And I think if I could go back and do it again, it would be easier for me to learn if I had like a one-on-one, classroom session. And I think I could learn better with that.
We agree. We think video is the future, and we're here to help partner with schools and districts throughout the country with premium video-based classes to bring a video-first solution and help engage students with what they've grown up with. And, content is king. Your content is king. Please, everyone who's listening to the podcast, please follow Tristan on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, across all platforms. His content's unbelievable. He's helping so many students. I think you were at Coachella Valley Unified last week. Was that where that trick shot was? That's one of our customers at Subject. So what great synergy there. I saw the shot. Check it out. He is unbelievable. Kenosha native, social media entrepreneur, such a bright future, NBA All-Star participant. We love hosting Tristan. This is On the Subject. We cannot wait for our next few episodes. We have some incredible guests coming up, but Tristan's journey is so inspiring. And to all our listeners out there, put in the work. It compounds. That work ethic, that's the differentiator.
Yep.
And I have a long-term vision. But thank you so much for your time today, Tristan. Awesome
Thank
hosting
you, my guy.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
man. Yes, sir.